Good morning and welcome to today's video from Yoker Evangelical Church. Today it's Wednesday the 2nd of December, and in our Bible readings this morning we started two new books as we read 2 Chronicles chapter 1 and 1 John chapter 1. On Sunday, if you remember, we were looking at Isaiah and we saw how important this idea of Emmanuel was, that God would come and be with his people. I think in both of these chapters we saw something of that hope again. In 2 Chronicles chapter 1, as we read about Solomon, where it says in verse 1, Solomon, son of David, established himself firmly over his kingdom, for the Lord his God was with him and made him exceedingly great. So we saw again there how Solomon's God was with him and so he flourished. But in this video today, I want to take a look at 1 John chapter 1, because I think it perhaps helps us to better see what this hope means for us. Now, we did 1 John a couple of weeks ago in our sermon series, and it's been good to revisit that this morning. But I think just with what we were thinking about on Sunday, we can maybe come to these verses again and see what they have to teach us. So I'd like to read again 1 John chapter 1, verses 3 and 4, where John writes, "We proclaim to you what we have seen and heard, so that you also may have fellowship with us. And our fellowship is with the Father and with his Son, Jesus Christ. We write this to make our joy complete." What is the picture there? Well, the apostles were the men who had travelled with Jesus, who had heard his teaching, who had seen him face to face. And in this invitation, John says, you need to believe this teaching. We're telling you what we have seen, what we have experienced, and so that we can have fellowship with them. And as he reminds us, their fellowship is with God. So how do we have fellowship with God? How do we experience the blessings of Emmanuel, God with us? Well, according to John, it is follow and believe the apostles' teaching. This hope of God with us. And this was something that the apostles experienced firsthand as they lived with Jesus for 3 years while he was doing his teaching ministry. They saw him face to face. They heard him teaching. They knew what it was to have God with them. And so in this, John invites us. He says, we have taught you all these things so that you can share in that blessing, so that you can know what it is to have God with you. And he says this about what that will mean. We write this to make our joy complete. Now, our joy could mean John and the people that he's with. I think it's far more likely that he means John and us, John and the readers. What is it that is going to make our joy complete? It is as people united in believing the apostles' teaching, know the blessing of having God with them. This key idea that God will be with his people will be the thing that brings us complete joy. I love how it talks about complete joy. This is not an incomplete joy that we might experience with something else that's fun for a bit, but then the thrill of it dies. What is the joy we get out of knowing Emmanuel? It is complete joy, because it is that joy that we were made to experience. Knowing Emmanuel through believing the apostles' teachings about Jesus Christ is the thing that will complete our joy. And I hope today that you can come to him and know that joy. I hope you have a great day today, and God bless.